So we all know that Nvidia has been like the poster child for the stock market for the past year or so, just absolutely exploding in value, doing spectacular. AI, the next big thing, and Nvidia is at the center of everything AI. But what if there was another company doing better than they were? And this company is flying under the radar, and it's kind of insane that they are able to keep up and actually do better than Nvidia. And that's Abercrombie and Fitch. They have been, or at least over the past year, done way better than Nvidia. Their stock has skyrocketed over 300%, and they didn't need AI to do it. So we are going to figure out today just what happened with Abercrombie and Fitch. Why did they turn everything around and all of a sudden become this insane stock?
It was all about our Abercrombie and Fitch logo, and the company was on fire.
Things were going up and up and up.
But
This was a
then,
big company.
those sales started to move
I remember
in the
wearing
other direction.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch is learning the hard way that sex doesn't always sell.
Abercrombie faced rising fast fashion competition and mounting lawsuits over discrimination, and the CEO who built the company's exclusive image retired abruptly. A case study on how Abercrombie went against industry standards, abandoned its teenage consumer, and aged up. First, the company had to distance itself from its former leadership.
Who's going to be their new leader?
These guys, I don't know about you, but they look like the icons of fashion. These guys know what they're doing with fashion. That's kind of insane. If I'm going to buy a clothing brand from anyone, they're going to know what they're doing.
Was in a downward spiral, and I knew I had an opportunity to bring these iconic global brands back to their rightful place.
The main objective was to stop giving up profits, because not only did Abercrombie have a
that makes
significant
sense.
discount issue,
Gotta try and
but
make
its
money.
other brand Hollister was also cannibalizing its business.
They were essentially the same product
Those are
with
the
two
same
different logos on them.
I didn't know those
two
were the
different
same
price
company.
points. So the first decision we had to make was, do we actually have one brand or do we have two? Like, do we pull this together and just own one marketplace?
To answer,
That would make more sense to me. Make one marketplace, either have one brand, or have because what did they say? It said like they were abandoning their teenager, aging up, right? You could have Abercrombie and Fitch be the like more adult version that you're saying you want, and then Hollister be the younger version. I think maybe that could work. Either way, the way that it was going, they're both basically. I didn't even know they were owned by the same company. They're basically the same thing. That is crazy.
that, Abercrombie began by looking at other marketplace opportunities.
What part of the consumer base is being underserved?
Typically, we see a younger generation setting fashion trends. Anyone scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, you're influenced by a younger content creator.
But Abercrombie looked in the other direction.
There's now this absolute huge raft of women
Be
making
different.
good money. They need to look cool and they need to look professional. But really, all they've been offered up until now is the same brands that their mothers were wearing.
So Abercrombie decided to grow up with its customer.
Now we're talking about targeting a 25-year-old, and that means that we're selling to people 20s, 30s, into their 40s.
A group that Abercrombie calls the young millennial.
So yeah, obviously that makes sense, right? I guess age up. I guess they lost their younger audience and decided, you know what, the older-ish people would know us better, and that's definitely the case. But I'm curious, how go to their website and see what is the prices for this stuff, because I remember Abercrombie Fitch. I don't think it was that expensive before. Maybe they've pivoted, and that's why they've just made things like super expensive. Here we go. This is their website, right? Let's just click some random things. I don't know, men's, sure. Let's take a look here. We've got what is this? $60, $80 on sale for $60. Yeah, this is more expensive. I guess 30 is not insane nowadays. I guess $80, $100 for these camo pants. Okay, maybe they've gone crazy. These prices are insane. $80 for a hoodie. Okay, I guess if it's all right quality, yeah. Here you go, $20. This is what I remember for Abercrombie and Fitch. Maybe that's the way they change everything. They just decided, hey, if we can't sell in volume, we'll just sell for a ton of money and age up. Maybe that was their strategy, and I guess it's working, right? Their stock is exploding. So
How does a brand just change who it sells to?
Now, the question, not easy.
The buying habits of millennials are different really than any other generation. You could lose relevancy with them.
The company looked at data around the audience.
Yeah, millennials,
With
you don't
logos
hold
out of
nothing.
style, Abercrombie kept them off the majority of its products. Instead, the company found that this older audience cared more about an item's quality, something that had been taken out of the clothes in previous years to lower production costs and compete with fast fashion. Abercrombie says it reinvested in better buttons, zippers, and softer fabrics. But the specifics about
So, I don't know. Does better buttons, zippers, and fabric make it worth $100 for a shirt or something? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't bought shirts in a long time. Maybe that's the going rate, right? Maybe that's what shirts cost nowadays. But I feel like other brands, like H&M stuff, is more like decently priced things, and I think pretty decent quality from what I've been told and stuff. American Eagle, I think that would be something comparable to this. I don't think their prices are insane. I mean, they're still kind of expensive, but they're not like ridiculous. Maybe they are. Maybe they're the same, and that's just what the prices are. I feel like the prices got insane though for this company. They know what they're doing. Their stock shows they know what they're doing.
What is the most important thing to this young millennial? And frankly, that is going away for a long weekend with their friends. And during that long weekend, there are so many opportunities to clothe them.
Is that
But the
most
challenge with
important thing?
expanding an assortment is knowing how much of which
Yes.
products and which sizes.
Old Navy a few years ago started to say we're going to have plus sizes, we're going to have petite sizes, and they were just left with too much inventory. They had an inventory problem.
Abercrombie implemented a strategy of examining its stockpile on a weekly basis and adjusting based on what's happening in the market. And this helped prepare Abercrombie for the industry's biggest hurdle in the past few years, the pandemic.
One day we came in and we had to close all of our stores. And what we learned then is we need less inventory tomorrow.
When Abercrombie closed its stores in March
Guess they
2020,
pivot. That's the
it
right
also
pivot, right?
canceled clothing orders with its supplier,
Just-in-time inventory,
which
basically
effectively
the
struck its stockpile
biggest
down
thing every
7% from the
retailer
year prior.
does.
And as the market came back, we were starting from a very low inventory and it was good.
The company has since continued this strategy. By 2023, it had brought levels down 30% year over year, enabling it to move with changing trends.
To win with the customer, it's all about delivering newness.
You're getting new information, you're learning stuff every day from the consumer.
And this consumer-centric approach is fueled by Abercrombie's shift away from the storefront. The company was still in the thick of its rebrand. Abercrombie announced an ambitious goal.
Achieve top-line sales between $4.1 and $4.3 billion, as well as a minimum profit of 8% operating margin.
And
We executed that almost 2 years early.
For Abercrombie and Fitch, it wasn't a story of a rising tide lifts all boats. They've won and they've grown in a really challenging and declining market.
We've seen their stock have this insane rally. It was even growing faster than Nvidia, and
you
this
go.
is in the year of AI.
beating Nvidia.
the company says it's been able to sell
During
its products
AI.
at higher prices
Impressive,
with fewer discounts,
especially for a
and now pivot to
retailer.
a different focus of the market.
One of the surprising things that happened from that aging up strategy is that the company's audience went from being skewed mostly male to mostly female.
Today, it's a bigger women's business.
And analysts say that shift plays into Abercrombie's larger audience change, given that millennial women spent more on apparel for themselves last year than any other generation.
It is the biggest market out there. If they did not win with their female consumers first, it would have taken so much longer, if not been successful at all.
So I guess that's the story kind of Abercrombie and Fitch, the retailer that beat Nvidia. Their stock just absolutely outpaced Nvidia during AI during this time. Very impressive. Their pivot, I guess, was the right way. They did everything at the right time. They cut inventory at the right time just before the pandemic. Didn't have to deal with those headaches that other people did. So maybe they got a little lucky, but they executed what they did. We'll see Abercrombie and Fitch. Impressive to beat Nvidia during this AI bubble. So, good for them. That's going to do it for this video. As always, remember to smash the button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next